Welcome into Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Another edition of this show, and Coach Hill joining me here. I'm Dylan Rivera, and looking forward to this one. Edmond Memorial on the schedule this week, but before we go forward, we're going to go backwards, talk about this Union game that was now a few extra days ago because the game got moved up to Thursday. But first, just your general thoughts on the win over the Redhawks.
Yeah, it's a good win. Like I said, playing a team that I thought was very similar to us as far as the momentum coming in the game, 3-1 in district. Had won their last 4 football games and was an improving football team. So I think it was a very dangerous team, a lot of skilled kids, a lot of good athletes, and we found a way to kind of put an end to it in the basically second half.
Well, and talking about that game getting moved forward, we had talked about last week that obviously some things change with preparation as a game gets moved 24 hours earlier. Yep. But on the back end now, with everything in hindsight, did you feel like that affected the team at all?
Oh, I don't think it affected us any. No. Nothing that you could just sit here and say, hey, man, they always say hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
Probably the one thing that I hope it affected was a little bit of now Friday recoup, Saturday actually some good healing. I mean, people don't get in that late in the year here, 8th ball game. Just that little extra day of just getting away from football a little bit, I think helps us a lot mentally and everything else.
The crowd on Thursday felt like maybe the most electric I had heard in years. Did you feel that energy down there on the field?
Yeah, and again, the hindsight, so you get a little of the understanding of why they got so excited a couple of times there. And so, no, it's great to see that. Come on, Broken Arrow, you can do it once, you can do it all the time. And I say that, like I said, they've been a great crowd, great attending, but it was really fun. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't hear any announcements. I just been doing this for a long time. I never have. I don't know, couldn't give you an explanation for that. I don't hear the crowd often. I said earlier this year, though, over at Harbor, it was loud.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the first time I've just said, God, it's loud. And then the other night when the roar of the crowd after, I guess, an announcement was made, I heard it. And I said, hey, they got excited. So it was fun to listen to, fun to be a part of, and congratulations, because it plays a big role on how our kids go out and work and give their effort out on the field.
Well, and I mentioned this on the broadcast, being a BA kid, I can empathize with this. Is if you had asked me as a fan of Broken Arrow, who are the two teams that Broken Arrow needs to go out and beat this year? The first one I would have said was Owasso, but there was some different things going on there than this one. And the other one was Union.
Right.
And that's the one that Broken Arrow fans, I think, want you to win because there's that bad blood there. I think that gets the crowd, the fans riled up and gets them ready to go. And now having that win in your first season as head coach over Union, I think that sets a precedent going forward. And I think the fans will buy into that a little bit more.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, those are things, intangibles that we don't control. But at the same time, our objective is to go out there. So anything that helps support what we're doing in our community and in Broken Arrow Public Schools, and using football as our tool to do that, let's go. Let's roll. So if we can play a big role in that and going out and winning football games, that's what we're getting paid for. That's what our kids love to do. So let's keep going at it.
You had a 3-game stretch here of just really pivotal games. You got Norman North and then Union and now Edmond Memorial coming up this week. All of them had a lot of weight in the standings, the District 2 standings. And my question to you with that is, do you use the standings as any sort of motivation for the team, or is that outside noise and everything's internal?
No, we do. I mean, it's a real easy process. We start the year saying goal number 1 is to make the playoffs. Goal number 2 is to win your district. Well, you're talking standings right there. The importance of district play, besides it is a district championship. Now, I don't think we're in a position for that due to our loss to Owasso, but it's positioning in the playoffs, which is your third goal, is to go win a state championship, okay? So it's huge. We understand that. Yeah, we pay attention to it. We pay attention to it. I've explained it to them from the word get-go, the point system, the whole 9 yards, because I think that's important that whenever you're going to go fight, you know what you're fighting for and how to fight and how to understand what's going on. So a lot of people would maybe even not understand the assumption of us not scoring there late, okay? It's 29-10. There's only a 15-point system you can get.
Right.
If we needed it to have a touchdown to get our 15 points, we would have gone and tried to get it. We didn't need that. There's no reason to have that. So let's put it on ice and move on. So, yes, it's very important that we understand that from a coaching standpoint, from a team standpoint, from a player standpoint.
We joked on the broadcast, and I don't think Corey Sengo would have minded getting in the end zone, though.
No, everybody would, including me.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's just not what you do. You play the game, as you said, for a real true understanding of where you're trying to get, and then you move on from there.
Yeah. We'll break down the offense from that Union ball game coming up after this commercial break as Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib, rolls on.
All in all, there's not a better place to work.
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
It's very fulfilling.
The work that we do is hard. The work that we do changes people's lives.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job. It's a calling.
It's time to update your kitchen, just for you. Kitchen Tune-Up will make your kitchen look and feel transformed. Let's create a kitchen that inspires and uplifts you. Kitchen Tune-Up. Update, upgrade, uplift.
Looking for some iced caffeine, left you in the cold. No one knows why brown water costs as much as liquid gold. Told him your name was Brian, why does this cup say Nicole? But then you found paradise in your cup at the Quick Trip. No regrets to start your day.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Dylan Rivera with head coach Travis Hill, the football program. Talking about the offense from the Union game, and the first thing I want to start off with is the O-line.
Yeah.
I felt like they played phenomenally. You go the whole game without giving up a sack, as you've done for many games this year.
Correct.
You get 5.6 yards per carry in the game. That's across all running backs and quarterbacks and everybody. I felt like they played really well. How did you feel?
We did the same thing. I'm going to give a little credit to Union. They made it a little messy at times with the way they brought pressures and everything like that. So they gave us a ton of looks. Mm-hmm. So really, probably even more compliments than what I could give them whenever I break it down and look at it on Saturday and Sunday, a little bit on Friday night after the game. Because, like I said, that's hard. There's rules, and whenever they give you a ton of different looks, it's hard to accept those rules and stay in the frame of what we're trying to do. But they did a great job. The 0 sacks is very, very impressive. And like I said, we're continuing to rush the football and have found some identity over there with doing that. And that's making us a very formidable and strong offensive football team.
Well, Jeremiah Satimba was extremely efficient once again. He goes 8 for 12, 109 yards and a touchdown. My question is that sort of what we should expect from him week to week? Is maybe not huge numbers, but high efficiency?
Well, that's what we want. I mean, it's the high efficiency deal. Now, the numbers are going to change week to week according to what the other team gives us, so to speak, and what we're capable of doing. So we're not locked into anything in particular. We work every week, and our agenda or our identity that we want is to throw for 300 yards, rush for 300 yards. Yes, 600 yards of offense, but you're gonna take what the other team gives you, and so and what you feel comfortable with. And like I said, you get a little bit of a routine going. But trust me, Dylan, if we need to throw the football around the yard, we got some very, very, very capable receivers. Jeremiah's done it. You've seen it already this year. A 290-yard game. We can do what we need to do, but we've anchored into the security which is huge, because if you can't run the football, trust me, everything becomes very difficult. Okay, so being able to do that has maintained us an opportunity to say, hey, we're going to have a lot of success now offensively week in and week out.
Well, in bringing up the talent you guys have at the wide receiver position, I was kind of surprised to see that only 3 guys had caught passes on Thursday, that being Zane Matthews-Boudreaux, Peyton Lang, and Samaj Stanford.
Yep.
Do you like to see more guys get involved, or are you happy to say, well, you know what, it worked on Thursday, so we're fine with it?
Again, the more the merrier. The more that you have to defend. We're very fortunate. We obviously use Samaj Stanford, the defensive standout on our offensive side of the football. And he causes the other team a lot of where's he at, what's going on there. But we're very capable across the board with Tayshawn Jones-Wade and the other guys we got that you just mentioned to put the ball over the place. Titan Hicks is a dynamite tight end wide receiver concept. So we're very comfortable. We can deal with it. And again, it's just you think you're going to take away something. That's how all of a sudden where somebody else unexpectedly comes up with a big ball game.
One of the sequences that really caught my attention from the game was the touchdown pass to make it 22-10 to Peyton Lang as he went across the middle. And I think Coach Mo had pointed out on our broadcast that Jeremiah really hung out in the pocket and took a lick when he let go of that football and placed it in beautifully to Peyton Lang. What did you see on that play? What was the call? What was it from your vantage point?
Yeah, it's just it's interesting. Week in, week out, we see people, because we just talked about running the football. All of a sudden, the hangover, for lack of better words than that, to say what kind of it's a defensive guy that's outside the box that usually covers up our inside receiver, which happens to be Peyton Lang. They keep putting him more and more in the box, so that opportunity comes. So we saw it coming. And he went out there and one-on-one against a safety, made a double move, clicked open. Jeremiah put the ball right where it needed to be. Just good stuff. Just this stuff like you see, that if we weren't able to run the football, that play probably doesn't happen. And that's the one that obviously banged us over the top and made it control our football game. So great play, saw it coming. Great job by Coach Wilkinson calling it and dialing it up when he called it up.
And, of course, we're talking about the run game, talking about the offense. We got to bring up Corey Sango again. Had another great ball game. He's really got a hot hand now, as you see with the Norman North game and the Union game. And you talked about earlier on with me on Inside Tiger Football, just going to ride hot hands. And if somebody's really in the groove, that you guys will just keep going that way. So is that kind of the way that we're going to go with Edmond Memorial?
Again, we got two backs there that we depend on. So Corey has been hot. You got to remember, the other one's been a little gimpy, had an ankle the week before against Norman North early in the game, allowed Corey to come in, have a big game, and still was a little gimpy at times. But, Octavian gave us some good yardage, some good plays, and he's fully healthy now. So, I like I said, again, it'll be an even-Steven gig back there. I'm a big believer, and most people that have been around football ever, you got to have two backs. As my son once said in fifth grade as a tailback, he said, "Dad, all 11 are trying to hurt you." And I said, "Absolutely." And so you got to have two good backs. So we're sitting there in that situation. So I don't think one's going to get more than the other. But, hey, man, we start handing the ball off and somebody's playing a little bit better, and that's the way we can go that particular evening.
Yeah, and even on a gimpy ankle, Octavian Roberson able to find the end zone, so that shows that he's ready to go.
He's good to go, and fully, like I said, from 80-90% last week, he's 100% excited. Octavian, high octane, and he'll be there, and when his time's ready, I promise you, he'll take advantage of it.
Well, looking forward to seeing how it shakes out against Edmond Memorial. We'll break down that matchup here coming up soon, but first we got to talk about the defense from the Union game, and we'll do that next on Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
Hey Tigers, I'm City Manager Michael Spurgeon. The city is preparing for the next general obligation bond election in April of 2026. Just like the improvements to Albany Street in front of the high school, bonds help pay for upgrades to public infrastructure like streets and intersections, public safety services, parks improvements, and more here in our great community. To find out more about the bond process, visit the city website. Thank you for helping us build our future. Broken Arrow, enjoy the rest of the game.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Time to talk defense. Head coach Travis Hill sitting across from me here. First guy I got to start with on the defensive side of the football is Colton Barlow. Had an excellent game. 15 total tackles, 12 solo, and 2 tackles for loss, PBU, QB hurries. He was everywhere. What does he do at the outside linebacker spot that makes him so dynamic?
Well, in our system, we kind of talked earlier about the offense, the hangover, the outside linebacker, outside safety, whatever you want to refer to. That's what Colton does for us in our defense. He's our Willie linebacker. People would say he's undersized, 180-pound linebacker. That's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a big DB to come up there and play that position. He's growing in that position all year long. He's getting better and better. And what it is, the little wrestler that he is, one of the quickest kids I've ever been around, extremely quick, dynamic with his feet. He gets places that some people can't get, and he got there 15 times the other night. So a lot of those plays are on the backside where he is our fold player, and because of his ability to see and identify, made a ton of plays. Just a really good football player for us. Very happy to have him on our team, and one of them ones that you watched, as I said, move from a third-team safety all the way up to a first-team linebacker. Just a very, very good football player.
One of the highlights of the day, and I think the highlight of the day, is the scoop and score TD from John Broll II. Fourth defensive touchdown this season.
Yeah, good stuff.
What was the call on that play, and what did you see from the side?
We were able to trigger, got him in situational football. I believe that was the 3rd and long, 2nd and long, one of the two. I'd have to look back, but wish my memory was good enough to remember that. But I do know that Gabe Manning, when we turn him loose, he's dangerous. He came off the backside, was able to strip sack the quarterback, and when the ball hit there, Broll being the other defensive end, two defensive ends collaborating together, was able to scoop and score. We work on that type of stuff every day. We have the scoop and score concept. If we don't get it on the first time, then we fall on it and make sure it's our football. I think John Broll, the second, it took him 2 tries to make sure he scooped that football. I thought he was getting ready to fall on it, but he got it on the second try as far as really stabilizing it, and it was fun to see him rumble into the end zone. And like I said, Gabe didn't even realize what had went on, and it was his big play that got to that moment. But it was good to see the 2 defensive ends on a pass-down situation make a big play like that and really go in with momentum at the half.
Well, I pointed this out. He used to be a tight end. He's got some hands. It may have just taken him a minute to warm him back up.
Yeah, we still utilize him over there at tight end a little bit. And I've seen him catch a lot of good balls out here in practice. One of these days, maybe we'll get that on a little game field too.
Well, he was our difference maker of the game, and Madison Dildine was able to catch up with him earlier this week.
Hey Tiger fans, I'm Madison Dildine, joined alongside senior John Broll II, who is our difference maker of the game for Union. John, what are your thoughts on the team's performance against Union?
Again, it was a big win for us. We have a couple guys coming over from Union over the summer. We have some guys that came over, Jeremiah Satimba being one of them, his freshman year coming over. It's just everybody who genuinely, that rivalry game, it meant to, we just balled, had to.
What's something that you're proud of personally from that game?
Personally, me being able to do my job, but me being able to play freely as well. I mean, D-line gets a lot of slack sometimes, especially the last 2 years, my sophomore and junior year, for not performing as we should. This year we've showed out, and we've started to get a little more freedom with how we play, so it's just been great for that.
Take me through the play when you had a scoop and score.
Gabe Manning got the sack, it bounced right in front of me, and it just popped up straight in my hands. I just kind of got the ball. As soon as I saw the end zone, I looked on the Jumbotron up, looked back this way, and there was nothing, and I just had straight green grass, so I had to go house it. I mean, thanks to Gabe Manning, though. He got me the sack first off to get the ball out. So
that's for sure. That was John Broll II, your difference maker of the game. Dylan?
Thank you, Madison. Coach Hill, I'm glad that you brought up Gabe Manning before that interview, and then he brought up Gabe Manning in the interview.
Good.
They work so well together on the ends, and having those two as your duo, what does that do for your defense?
It's great because, like I said, they both have they do some things extremely well. Broll plays the run and understands the defense and the organization and the structure behind what we're doing and why he does his job so really well. And what Gabe is the dynamic, explosive football player that was an interior guy last year, wanted to play linebacker, got out there, did a great job. I want to make sure we understand that Gabe did a great job at linebacker. We just needed that explosive defensive end play, which we kind of use as an outside linebacker concept a lot of times. In our three front, he's got his hand down a lot, but in our four front, he's a stand-up player and just explosive. He's able to make those big plays. And if you go back through the season so far, up to the last 8 games, you can probably find one play in every game his dynamic explosiveness shows and is a big player. So both of them complement each other with what they do and definitely set an edge for us on our defense.
Can't go talking about the defense without talking about the goal line stand in the second quarter. We discussed on the broadcast that we felt like that was the defining moment of this season so far. We felt like that was the moment that you can point to later on in the season and say that was when it clicked. Yeah. Talk to me about the emotions of that goal line stand and what you saw from the head coach's perspective.
Well, it's anytime you do that, with perceived as a defensive guy, okay, it's fun to watch. But from a standpoint from the head coach, okay, from the overall team, it's such a momentum's huge when you make those plays like that. So goal line stands are very comparable to a block kicked, a block punt, a block extra point, or field goal. A turnover in that area. It's almost like a turnover. Of course, it's 4 downs, so it is a turnover to some extent. So it was just huge to watch. kudos to the kids. Good job with the defensive coaching staff, putting the right personnel in at the right time, putting those type of things together, and us understanding and taking the time to work on those things through the week. We don't just take that for granted. We work it every week with our goal line, our big packages to match up and make sure we do a good job when we get in those situations. So it paid off big, huge dividends. Thursday night, I was going to say Friday night. I thought
Right.
Thursday night, huge dividends with the success and us having a win, and it's a momentum changer at that time too.
Also got another turnover on downs at a crucial time, which was in the fourth quarter. You guys were still up 22-10, and Union had the chance to go down and score. There was about 5 minutes left. If they had scored, it makes it a tight ball game. And Malik Ross able to get a sack on fourth down, a really big play. Talk to me about that sequence and sealing the game up.
Again, and you've heard me, three possessions. So kind of you see why now, 22-7, it's not quite a three-possession game, and you want it to be. Now, we got that little 2-point conversion, which helped us out immensely to get to 22, but to at that point in time to make sure that it doesn't get down that, here comes the onside kick, here comes these situations. Momentum changes really quick. Momentum can snowball, starts off little, gets big quick. So for Malik and our defense, again, on a fourth down, and again, a good situational football to bring a little heat at that point in time and find a way to get to the quarterback, get the turnover, which led to a short field and a cancellation of the football game at that point in time. Big stuff, good stuff defensively, again, setting up a win in a crucial situation.
That's an offense with Union that was able to score 51 a couple of weeks ago, 49 after that, and then come into Broken Arrow and they score 10.
Yeah.
One touchdown in the first half, one field goal in the second half. How pleased were you just from a scoreboard standpoint to kind of slow them down?
Yeah, and they had less than 200 yards of offense. And I'm still going to tell you that running back, and I'm horrible with names, and so I apologize to you, sir, but number 0, you're going to get off. He's big time running back, and 26 ain't too bad himself. They're really, really good. Caught us in a couple of situations where they personnel got us off guard a little bit, had some good runs, but we contained them. And then to contain number 8, Stoner, just a really good football player. The one where they had the little reverse pass and we defensed the heck out of it, but yet he scrambles and takes off and basically he's the one that got, if I'm correct, got us got him in the field goal range and made a great play. He made about a 20-yard scamper out of nothing. So for us to control that game and play good defense against, I think, a very good high octane offense, running back, receiver, they're as good as there is around.
Right.
Very, very complimentary to what we did.
Well, looking forward to this Edmond Memorial game because the defense is going to have to show up again against the Bulldogs.
Absolutely.
It'll be a big contest on Halloween, and we're going to preview that one next here on Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib.
Get your taste buds ready, because we're bringing all the drip and none of the drama with our new sauced and tossed Tender Bites. They're juicy, crispy, and sauced like a boss. Bite into your new obsession. Only at Slim Chickens.
Hey Tigers, get the only card that donates to Broken Arrow Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $360,000 so far. Support the Tigers with your card today.
Tulsa Bone and Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone and Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. Tulsa Bone and Joint, moving life forward.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib. Dylan Rivera with head coach Travis Hill. One last segment. We're going to break down the upcoming Edmond Memorial game. Halloween night, Coach. I feel like I got to ask you a little bit about Halloween. You have any good memories from the holiday?
No, I've never been a big Halloween guy, but I usually enjoy, and obviously not going to have that opportunity this week of sitting on my recliner answering the door and seeing the little ones there, that's usually kind of entertaining and enjoyable that I do. Obviously, won't get that opportunity this week. So took the opportunity to go to Rosewood yesterday and see that activity going on. Rosewood Elementary. Miss Jamie over there did a great job, principal, and we had some kids involved in that. So it was a fun time. So those are my memories of Halloween that I like the best. But I was sure glad when my kids grew up and I didn't have to walk them around the neighborhood. Yep.
Well, got to be focused on the target this Friday. The team probably got to get their mind off the candy, right, and focus on the football team. Playing a Memorial team that is also 6-2, a talented roster, and you had mentioned in the commercial break there, they're a physical team.
Yeah.
And let's start with their defense. They've got a great linebacker in Colton McComb.
Yep.
Got some guys up front that really play well. So just where maybe do you see a hole in their offense or defense that you can attack?
Well, like I said, they're really, really solid up front. If you want to say where did the weakness ever show through the process of the year was in their secondary when they played Norman North. But we're not Norman North, throwing the ball around and how they go about their business there. So, but and I don't want to call it a weakness. Some really good football players back there, but where they cause the most grief at is up front. I mean, the two defensive ends, the two twin brothers, both are legit. Again, we talked about defensive end play earlier with our two young men. Do a great job complimenting each other. Number 85 in the middle, big physical defensive tackle that's had some D1 offers. And then you mentioned McComb, whose brother last year was their quarterback at the University of Kansas, and this young man, number 0, very, very good linebacker. Also, you'll see him at the tailback position a little bit. They just all complement each other and play good 4-2-5 football in their schematics and to give you a bunch of multiple looks and are very, very sound defensive football team.
Most of this season, the only two teams that have allowed less points than Broken Arrow have been Bixby and Edmond Memorial. So this might be a bit of a dogfight. And have you prepared your team for what might be a very defensive battle? Yeah,
we just told them. It's real simple. This is, and I'm going to say this, and this is very respectful, this is one of the best teams you've played. Now, like I said, they got some outstanding talent spread out across there, but what you really notice about Edmond Memorial, and you got to remember we was in with them at team camp, so there's some things that we've seen in a different light than just they're a very good team. They work really well together. You can tell they enjoy being around each other. Coaching staff's done a great job of bringing the chemistry there. So that's the one thing that sticks out to me.
In talking about the team camp, and I mentioned this, I think, off camera to you last week, about the scores from last season for some of these upperclassmen, seniors and juniors, how those games finished last year. You go into team camp, and I know in team camp things got pretty heated with Broken Arrow and Edmond Memorial and a couple other schools out there, but how does that play into this matchup? Do you think that brings any extra fire to this?
Oh, I don't know. It's been so long ago. Dylan, everybody's different, okay? And I'm pretty boring. I really am. We look back at that film, but we're not looking back for anything other than opportunity schematically to say, hey, what do we need to do? We got a big ball game in front of us. I've never had to influence our kids for any motivational standpoint week in and week out. We like to go out and play hard. That's who we are. So it's irrelevant who's out there. We plan on going out there and getting after it and doing the very, very best we can. If anybody as an individual uses those as motivational points, great, whatever it takes, okay? But from a team standpoint, none of that stuff it's irrelevant to us. We got a big ball game. We got to go out and play well. And again, who's going to tackle the best? Who's going to block the best? Who's going to take care of that thing we call a football? And they're probably going to have a real good chance to win a football game, not who's worried about what happened in May, okay?
Right.
All right.
Offensive side of the football for Edmond Memorial, they got a good quarterback, maybe not the greatest in the state, but he does very well and puts up some good numbers. So how do you plan to attack him, get him off his spots, and try to make him uncomfortable?
And that's what's hard. It's very difficult because, as I kind of explained earlier, their personnel that they put on the field complements each other. They can get in every formation and every situation without changing, okay? So they're hard to dictate and kind of get an understanding of where they're going because you don't see anything coming in or coming off, okay? The quarterback, as you kind of mentioned about, Jeremiah earlier, very, very efficient, okay? Not flashy. He's not going to be the guy that goes out and going to go play for the University of, but he is a very good high school quarterback, makes the plays when he needs to be, does it primarily with his arm. They haven't shown him to run a lot for a variety. I think whenever he does scramble and moves around the pocket rather well, but they score a lot of points and are very efficient with what they do offensively. So it's going to take 3 downs to get them off the field, and we got to find a way to do that without them maintaining some of those long possessions that they're very capable of doing.
He has 2 targets in particular that he likes out there. He's got 2 500-plus yard receivers that he's thrown to this season. A lot of talent on the outside, and that's going to test your secondary. But, I feel like this secondary should be able to hold their own against them.
We do well there. We got a lot of talented athletes, so we can match up in a variety of ways, from a zone concept to a man concept. So as we told that they can get multiple from an offensive standpoint, we can get multiple from a defensive standpoint really quick with the type of people we put out there. So it'll be an interesting matchup, but there is some definite matchups that'll be fun to watch, not only from a fan standpoint, but also from a coach's standpoint as we're sitting there, managing the game to see how whenever I'll be able to identify these things before they even happen. Well, then tell the kids, well, it's kind of next to impossible when there's a big crowd and they're anyway from 50 yards away from you. But that's their job, and that's what they've been preached on all week long. So hopefully they identify those things and get a little head start on what they think what's going to happen out there.
Last thing to discuss is their run game and how they're able to move the football on the ground. Do you feel like that's something that maybe you guys can try to attack and keep them from getting too many yards on the ground?
I mean, without being, giving away any top secrets. I mean, it's don't run the football, make them one-sided, and I think it's a huge advantage for us. They're very capable of running the football. That has not been their cup of tea. They have not been a great running football team, okay? We need to keep it that way. That's a lot easier said than done, okay? But they're going to give us a variety of things, and I think they know that. So it's not like, we're going to surprise them and they're not going to try to run football. No, they know for them to be successful, they're going to have some success running the football. So they may be very, intelligent the way they do it and imaginative the way they do it, but they're going to find a way to have a ground attack. And so it's our job to find a way to stop that.
Well, I hope that the Tiger fans out there like defensive football, because that's what I'm expecting in this ball game. Should be a good one. Edmond Memorial Broken Arrow kicks off at 7 p.m. on Halloween night. Coach Hill will be the guy dressed up like a football coach on the sidelines.
Acting.
Our pregame show will start at 6:30 on ArrowVision. If you want to tune in to the broadcast, can't make the road trip down, we got you covered. I've been Dylan Rivera. He's been Coach Hill, and we'll see you next week.